Okay, so before we start Oracle, today's session, since it's a demo class for you people, and it would be my first session. So let's come up with some basic stuff that which is connected with the database. Basic things like first, let me explain you even before I come up with the other implementations of database. Very fundamental concepts we'll discuss today, and then we'll proceed with the introduction part of database. Okay, now database implementation. Database implementation life cycle. So this would be a very fundamental concept that we are going to study. Okay, and it includes 3 stages actually. This implementation will be based on what? Three stages. Okay. 3 stages. And in these 3 stages, what are they called? And where do we come in these 3 stages? What will be our profile after completing the learning of Oracle? Like what will be our profile in IT industry? For all these questions, we'll try to come up with an answer through this simple architecture. Okay, as I said, 3 stages. What are those stages? One is called designing. If you are coming with a programming background, and it is always made to learn in programming, about something called design of a program that you call as flowchart. Here, design of database, I'm saying design of database. And who will do this designing? A person who is designated as database architect. Is called what? Database architect. And after designing, it goes for development. And after development, it goes for production. So let me highlight 3 things here. Designing, one stage. I'll explain roles and responsibilities in each profile. Second is development. And third is production. Especially the process always flows from designing to development, and from development to production. This is the approach. Designing to development, development to production. And among these 3 stages, our profile comes under development. We are Oracle developers. Now, something very important to know. What are the responsibilities that will be carried in each of these stages? In each of these stages. So what are the responsibilities of an architect? As a developer, what are your responsibilities? And as a once data is stored into the main server, when it becomes live, when data becomes live around the globe, that is for production. So let's talk on all that stuff and see how the total process will go along with their responsibilities. Fine. First, I'm going to talk on about design. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay. So here first comes designing stage, which is to be called your primary stage. Okay. As I said, no, what is the profile of an employee here in an IT industry? You would find he's called architect, database architect. What are his responsibilities? Planning and analyzing client requirements. For example, assume that I planned to start my own business. Say it's something related to a supermarket, and obviously I would like to have everything to be maintained in my business through a database where I'll be using Oracle as a subject. So what I will do, since I'm a businessman, I'm not related to any product, any software. So I would approach to companies which can do a favor for me of developing, or they can help me out to make my business computerized, maintaining every information of my business through database. So I would have obviously approach to some companies. So what that company will do, they'll ask about my business. So they'll make architect available for me, database architect. So daily I'm supposed to explain him what is that I need in my business, what exactly the business goes with, everything I'll explain, and that person is going to analyze my requirements, is going to plan for my requirement. You can go on mute, please. Alekha. Yeah. So planning and analyzing what? Client requirements. And once planning is done, analyzing is done, he is responsible for designing database, designing of database. And the other most important responsibility for him is he even need to prepare design documents. He is supposed to prepare what? Design documents. Why? Why he has to prepare? Because this is what the point says. Like, say today I'm working in some XYZ company, say as an architect. So I already started designing one database, and I understood all the client requirements. And every day I am going to have some sort of designing. Sometimes designing goes months together. And once designing is done, whatever I'm doing in a day, everything has to be documented. I'm supposed to write in a document whatever the task I do in a particular day about so and so project, about so and so database. I'm supposed to put that in the form of a document. Why so? Why so? This would be like one of the policies of the company. Whoever designs a project, whoever designs a project, whether it is related with the database or it is related with programming, both designations are related to document that design part. Why do you want to design? Because tomorrow, if I leave my job, if some other person comes and works on behalf of you or in place of you, definitely he should have that point. No? He should know till what point I have completed my designing, till what are the things that I have included in my database, what tables I have used, what relationships I have used among your tables. All I have to write in the form of document, so that even if I'm not there in the company, if some other person takes a charge of me, even he should be in a position to analyze the designing part. For that reason, company makes me to design the documents. Exactly. Once this designing is over, then comes a point of development stage. This is called developer. This is called developer. So in this profile or in this stage, our responsibility comes like in development stage. Then what is your job? Yes, our job is to implement database. Whatever designing has been done, following that design, you are going to implement database. And what else is your job? Apart from implementing your database, what else is your job? Yes, you are going to write even coding. Yes, in Oracle, coding part will be done by using PL SQL, PL SQL we call programming part. Coding is our job, database coding. Not only coding, error detection, modifications, all that is related with debugging is also our job. And even it is always specified for a developer to write fine-tuned queries. What does it mean? Fine-tuned queries in the sense, when you write a query to extract your information from a database, when you make your queries, one or more queries to extract data from database, then remember those queries should not take much time for execution. Those queries should go in an easy way of what extraction of data. Such type of queries you are supposed to write. Those are called what? Fine-tuned queries. Coding is our part, debugging is our part, writing queries is also our job. Apart from this, there are few companies even makes you to test your database. Testing database. Otherwise, companies will appoint a separate designated employee who will even go for database testing. He'll be like, for all types of testings, he'll be responsible. Very few, very few. Otherwise, developer himself will be asked to even test your database. How to test and all that we'll discuss as and when we progress into the subject. This is all about which stage? Development stage. Once development is over, once we design, once designing is over, development is over, now comes a stage of production stage. What is it? What is that employee called? He is called production DBA, database administrator. Now, one of the mostly responsible job in IT industry would be for database administrator. What is his job? What are his responsibilities? Obviously, he is not going to write any code. He is not going to have any debugging part. He is not going to write that perfect queries because his job is not about that. What is his responsibility? Yes, you can say he is responsible for database maintenance. You create database, you write coding, you debug your program, you write queries, you store queries, you store data, everything you do, your job is over. How to maintain that database, that will be a responsibility of database administrator. Imagine, just for an example, I'm saying, you created one database. In that database, you created one table, and in that table, you have stored some millions and millions of data available. You're done. Your job is over. Tomorrow, if you are trying to retrieve your data from that millions of records, if you are not getting the data from database, you're not responsible for that. Your job is over when you have feeded your data. After that, if data is not coming, that is not your responsibility. Database administrator is answerable for that. He is the one who is going to maintain the complete database. If database is not providing data, he is the one who is going to hold a responsibility for it. And what are his other jobs? What is his other, what are the other jobs of him? Yes, he is even monitoring and troubleshooting database and server issues. What monitoring? Performance of server. Because sometimes it may happen, developer writes a query, and developer doesn't notice how much time the query is taking for execution. He simply writes the query, and and DBA always monitors which query is coming to server, which query is coming to database, how much time it is taking to run that, how much time it is taking to execute, how much time it is waiting for the execution process. These all things database administrator will monitor. If administrator finds that your written queries, your written programs are taking much time, then immediately he will get back to you, making a very clear picture and explanation about what is happening of your query and what is happening because of your program. And now it comes to your stage. You try to rectify the problem, you try to still make that query simple, make that query run fast by adding some alternate things into that particular query. So who will do this monitoring and troubleshooting job? Database administrator is responsible for that. Do you understand? Plus, apart from all this, he is also responsible for, yes, let me talk on this also, responsible for following events apart from above two. What are they? Yes, let me talk on this. First one, no downtime. Never server should be down. Never. Even if downtime is needed for the server, he should give a prior intimation to all the people who are working on the server as well as on the database, with a clear picture, not like instant. Like he should at least give a prior intimation of 1 week, sometimes 1 month before. He should mail, he should keep on reminding them, he should generate alerts for them saying that on so and so day, from so and so time to so and so time, server will not be available for you. You understand? So that they can be little cautious when they do some special operations on database. You understand? Never server should go. Actually, they never. Even if they are going for, why do you want downtime for? Why you have to intimate? That's what the point. You want to maintain your server. Some maintenance issue. This is one of the most frequently errors that you could notice in your web technologies, especially when you work on your different websites. You click onto that website, you may get a message saying that so and so page is not available, so and so information from so and so company is not available because it is under maintenance. You understand? No downtime. Never server should be down. Even another responsible, no data loss. If data is lost, we are not responsible. Purely it is in the control of database administrator. Stored your data, your job is over. If data is lost, you are not involved in it. As a developer, administrator should take care of. That is the reason those people will plan out for what? Backup of database. How do they take backup? It depends. It from one company, from one organization to other organization, backup policies differ. It's not like everyone will go with same way of backup, with the same time of backup. No, it depends. It depends like how many people are working on server. It depends like how many databases you have. It depends like how huge flow of data and how huge flow of interaction to database is available. Based on that, they make a plan of what? Backup. Even if data is lost, they doesn't take much time to make your database again available the way it was when it is lost. Instant. What is it called? Restore. Backup and then restore database. Who will do that job? Administrators profile it is. We are not responsible for that. Even no performance issues. No performance issues. Okay. No performance issues in the sense. Imagine this also may be one of the most frequently happened errors, especially in real-time environment when you work on client server technology. Imagine 9 o'clock I join office, I hit one query to server, server responds me, fine. The query has been executed in some milliseconds. Even it has not taken 1 second also. Within milliseconds, output has been produced. Same query I execute somewhere in the, say for example, afternoon. A same query I hit again to server. Now query is responding me by taking some 10 seconds. Morning it was in milliseconds. Now it is in 10 seconds. Again in the evening hours, again same query I hit to server. Say for example, it is taking 1 minute. Means somewhere or the other performance of your query or performance of a server has gone down. What performance issues have arisen? Database administrator should take care of that. Exactly same way, no connectivity issues. No connectivity issues, no security problems, etc. These all are responsibilities of what? Database administrator. A lot we have, just to give you some idea about how the database implementation life cycle goes in a real time when it is made available on a client server technology. For that reason, I just gave you one simple architecture so that you can easily make out the working process of what? Database. Yes. Yes, please. You have some time. You can unmute yourself, or you have any questions, you can use your chat panel and can forward your queries. If not, we'll try to come up with some other basic things of database before I start Oracle. Everyone, please. Aishwarya, Alekha, Amar, Ashish, everyone, please. Everyone. Swati. There is a chat panel in your application. You can use chat panel, or you don't find, then you can just unmute your mic and you can forward your queries. There's a chat panel, please. You can use your chat panel. Any questions you have, you can ask. Yeah, that's what I said, no? Like it's database administrator's job. Like they go for a backup of database. That's what they plan actually. Like when yeah. So that's what the point is. Like how they plan for a backup, it depends. As I said, no, policies from one organization to other organization, backup policies change. So actually, when they go for a backup, they always see that that especially traffic on server is less. When less people are working, when less number of users are connected, in at that time they plan actually for a backup of what? Database. Okay, Ashwarya. Yeah, Amar. You have any questions, Amar? Okay, Amar. That's fine. Alekha, Ashish. Am I audible to all? Swati?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Is it fine, Swati? Do you have any questions to ask on this topic?
No, I have no
No.
questions.
Okay. Fine. Then. Fine. Okay. Okay, Amar. Okay, that's fine. Ashish, can you hear me, Ashish? Aishwarya, you have a question. Are only shell commands used for backup or any other different ways? Is there? Many are there. Many, Aishwarya, many. Not necessary that always you go for a backup only through commands. No. Even there are many tools available. Third party tools are available. Exclusive tools are available from sorts of company, whichever the product we are using for database. They have their own even special tools designed for backup, for to monitor, for security. Different tools are available. It's not like always you go for backup only through commands. Okay. Keeping this implementation life cycle, let's come up with now the introduction part of database. All basic points I'll discuss in this concept. So if you are already aware of these basics, this will be a small review for you. If you are not aware of this, at least remember them so that you know, instead of making theory and getting confused on this introduction part, I would like to make one simple architecture on this introduction. Okay, fine. Let's start with. As you all know that whenever you organize data, whenever you organize data in computers, it is always found with two ways. In two ways, we can organize our data. Two approaches. One is old methodology. One technique is using old methodology. What is that old methodology? File system. Maintaining data through files. Maintaining data through what? Files. That is one technique we have. And second technique that you would find is something related with called database. Two ways we have. Two ways. File system is one technique and database is another technique, or you can call rather the best technique to manage your database. What is file system? Okay, you might be aware or you might have heard about a word called flat file. Maintaining data by creating a file. As simple as that. Maintaining data through file. Acha, how do you maintain data through file? Yeah, it depends. It depends. For example, either we use built-in applications or we use another approach also we have. Both of them I'll highlight here. This is one part or this is one way and this is second way. Two approaches. Okay. What are those approaches? One is through built-in applications. One approach. Second is through programming languages. Yes. Built-in applications, programming languages. Built-in applications, like what? Which applications you're talking about? Like, fine, you make a list here. What list? I can use Notepad. Not necessary to write coding and all. Direct application. I can open that application. I can start feeding my data. Even I can use MS Word. Even I can use Excel. These all I can use for what? managing data. You can organize your data like storage, modification, deletion, all you can do, all you can do. What about programming languages? Many are there. C, I can use C language. I can use C++. I can use Java. I can use Python. I can use C#.NET. I can use VB.NET, etc. These all are what? Programming languages, where you can organize your data by creating files. By creating files. The question is, when you have file system to organize data, either using built-in or programming language, then why are we going for database then? So obviously, file system has few drawbacks. File system has few what? Drawbacks. Yes, few I list out, few for your reference, because if I start talking on these drawbacks, it would take a very lengthy session. So let's not make things even confuse here. We'll make simple so that you can easily make out, as well as you can understand it in a better simple. You will, as I said now, like if you're already aware, just treat this to be like a small review for you. If you're not aware, at least remember what I'm trying to come up with the introduction part of this database. Fine. So what I was saying, under drawbacks of file system, the first major drawback that you find is no security. Major drawback. There is no security. Now, when I say security, obviously questions arises now. Questions will arise. What? Using C, using C++, using Java, using Python, using C#, VB, all these programming languages, you can write a program. That program will create a file, and that file will contain data, and the data is not readable. Everything will be stored in encrypted form for security. Everything will be stored in a file in encrypted form. Then why am I saying no security? Obviously, data is secured, no doubt in it. All will store data in binary form, in encrypted form. Obviously, data is not readable, but parallelly, another area, if you think on this file, that file still can be deleted. That file can be deleted. Obviously, if file is deleted, it makes no point in making that data with in encrypted form. It makes no point even if that file is protected with password, because your file is deleted, you lost your data. In that aspect, I'm saying that there's no security for your file system. Second major problem, does not avoid redundancy. Yes, another problem. Does not avoid what? Redundancy, duplicacy. Yes. What is the problem with redundancy? That may cause two major problems. One, creates confusion at the time of accessing if redundancy is not avoided. And second issue is wastage of memory. And I'm not saying like every time you need to avoid redundancy. No, I'm saying that there should be a facility of avoiding redundancy. I'm not saying like compulsory you should avoid redundancy. No, that's not the point here. Another major problem with file system is always file system provides data inconsistency. Major problem of file system. And this is not supported by neither built-in applications nor with programming languages. No one will support data inconsistent. No one will. Everyone has. I mean, built-in application has this drawback. Even programming languages has this drawback. Data inconsistency. What do you mean by data inconsistency? Simple example. You can make the data available. Yeah, that's what I'm explaining. Aishwarya, I'm explaining that point. Yeah, I'm going to make the data available scattered in multiple files. Data is scattered in what? Multiple files. Like imagine a case. I just take this a simple example for you. What I do is I'll create one file and I'll maintain all stock information in it. Since I'm talking about a business, it will contain stock information in the business. One file I will create and I'll store whichever product has come into business, what is the stock available of that product. That is one point. Second point that you would notice is that another file I will create and I'll maintain all sales information in it. One is containing stock, one is containing sales information. And third, I'll maintain all my employees information. Now my business information has been scattered, has been separated in three files. One is containing stock information, one is containing sales information, one is containing employees information. Yes. Now imagine one person has purchased one product. So I made some sales of the product. So when I make a sale of the product, so say for example, stock was 100 units. A person has purchased, say for example, 20 units. So now what do you say? Your stock should be updated or not? Because your 20 sales are made and that sales information is put in one separate file. Stock should be updated or not? Yes, stock should be updated. But now for us, I have to update stock manually. I should go to stock file. I should go to that product. I should remove 100. I should make it 80. It's not happening automatically. You're making changes in one, automatically should update other. That is not happening. That is called data inconsistency. Hope answer to your question, Aishwarya. No, that's fine. Okay. Then. So then if data inconsistency, then what is there in database? Reverse. Data consistency is available in database. Data consistency is available in database. You understand? This is a drawback. Database will provide you advantage of. Okay. Another issue. Difficulty in accessing required data. Yes. Difficulty in accessing what? Required data. Like this, we may make still a big list of disadvantages of what? File system. For your instant reference, I just made a list of 4. So now I conclude in this way, like to overcome all these drawbacks of file system, they have come up with a second way of organizing data, that is through database. And remember one thing, database, the way you define it depends on the picture of your database. You remember the picture of database? Simple becomes for you to define your database. Let me come up with this. This is my database representation. How it will be? Simple. Cylindrical shape object. That makes your database. Yes, this is a representation of what? Database. Cylindrical shape object. Now, keeping this picture in view, question comes is how you define a database. Now you can say database is defined as what? Logical container which contains related objects. Yes, this is how you define a database. And I use one big word in this definition, that is logical, which means database always provides two types of data presentations, two types, logical data, physical data. So what exactly it is, how you make a difference of these two, coming classes, I'm going to elaborate that. In introduction class, I just want you to make a point on how you define a database. Question that comes is, what do you mean by object here? Yes, let me make a list here. Objects include what? Tables, views, synonyms, indices, clusters, sequences, stored procedures, stored functions, stored triggers, etc. These all comes under category of what? Objects. These all comes under category of objects. And another interesting thing is databases will be of two types for us. Databases. They will be of two types. What are the names of it? Yes, one is called OLTP, one is called OLAP. OLTP is online transaction processing. Online transaction processing. Second is OLAP, online analytical processing. That is all connected with data warehouse. Online transaction processing, online analytical processing, that is connected with data warehouse. Fine. So keeping these things in view, we'll just stop the session here. Still a lot to study on this introduction part of this basic stuff. Tomorrow's class, I'll continue. So you have any question that you would like to ask me on this, you can. Yes, please. Yeah, Aishwarya, Amar, Ashish, Swati. Any questions you have?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Swati.
Yeah, I have one question. Can I ask in short
Yes,
or
ask. Yes.
uh,
No problem. You can ask. No issue. You can ask.
yeah,
Okay,
today class
Aishwarya.
is end now.
Yeah, we are done with this today's session. Yes.
Yeah, this one weekly, how many days we have sessions?
Okay. For this week and next week, we'll have session only for 5 days. And this week, tomorrow we'll have session. Saturday, this week, Saturday we won't have. Usually that we don't keep session on Saturday. And next week also we'll have session only from Monday to Friday. Saturday will not be there. And from then you'll have your session for 6 days, including Saturday.
Okay.
Mm.
Daily, how much it is?
So
How much time in each session?
yeah, timing which they have allotted for our batches, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. That is the batch time they have allotted for our sessions, 9 to 10.
Okay. And then how many months it will take both
Fine.
and
SQL, PL, both. Actually, we will be mm, yeah, Aishwarya will talk on that. Actually, class time I'm actually busy with other timings, so this is the only time that that would be feasible for me. Yeah, so the duration of the course would come to 45 to 50 working days. It takes 45 to 50 working days.
oh, okay.
Okay. And regarding notes, videos, you not worry about all that stuff. Whatever the pictures I'm explaining in your session, When I share your video, either you can go through that video and can make that for your as your notes, or however I'll be sharing this paintbrush pictures as well with you. Videos will also be shared with you so that you can revise them. You can go through those architectures. Soft copy of the material I'll be sharing day to day. Once our main practical starts, day to day's practical thing, whatever I demonstrate, those things will be shared with you so that you can go through that stuff for your practice.
Okay. And also we want
Okay.
also in interview point of also how they are
Yeah,
asking the
yeah,
questions
yeah.
we would like
Don't
to.
worry about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, don't worry about it. Because I want to just make few points here. Uh, I'm into I'm into training since almost 21 years. So when I completed around plus batches on Oracle. So you not worry, whatever is my experience. Even I worked in IT industry as a senior technical leader. Till 2014 I worked. From then I left my job. Now I'm going only for training. Even I'm a corporate trainer as well. So do not worry about that point. Like I'll take care of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
right
so
then.
much.
Okay, right. Fine, everyone. So tomorrow's class will also be a demo class for you. So you can attend that session as well. We'll complete this introduction and we'll go a little further on this part. If tomorrow's class, if time permits, we'll come up with an introduction to Oracle, if time permits. Otherwise, we'll see some other basic stuff of database. Okay, everyone.